Hi, the name is Christian de Souza Jensen. I go by the artist name of Seapuppy, and yeah, I'm a Dane living in Malta. I've been here for quite a few years now, and yeah, I make a living from doing illustrative, figurative art. Within various industries, commissions, and I also teach life drawing and technical drawing. So industries, so I think the more interesting ones that I've worked with is definitely within skateboarding, including Antis skateboards from Lyon, France. Those jobs I try to get a hold of. I also have done a bunch of stuff for musicians, like as far as gig posters and stuff like that, and I really like that too. As a matter of fact, I'm naming all the things that I really want to get back into, so I'm going to try and manifest that to happen. So ever since I was a kid, I've been drawing. I've been drawing and painting and stuff as far as I can remember. Originally, painting was encouraged because our parents used to take us to restaurants. Sometimes they have like a paper sheet or something that's like before you eat. And me and my sister, like, we love each other, like we're practically the same person, but we used to fight all the time, ripping each other hair and stuff like this, and it was pretty nasty. So my mom just like, here's some crayons, and have a battle with each other who's got the best superhero character. So skateboarding is one of those things like I remember always being in my life as well. It was, I think, as a birthday or Christmas gift, I got like a little, I don't know, some cheap skateboard. Didn't know what to do with it. It was like, like on the knees or whatever, like pushing around on the streets. And I lost interest in it. It just like rotted outside, and lost interest in that. But then I think it was like in the early 90s where, and this is like so common for a lot of people, but there was that Back to the Future that came out with Marty McFly grabbing behind the car with a skateboard and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden all my classmates and friends were doing the same thing. Like there were a lot of people around that time just grabbing behind cars and being a nuisance. But then it kind of stuck. Then I understood like what skateboarding was meant for. I think the first guy that I was into at that time, I think I was like 11. The only reason why I was into him was because he had the same first name as me, Christian Hosoi. So I saw that, vert skating and stuff like that, and I think my first skate video that I ever saw was Powell and Peralta, or I think it was just Powell then, Chaos. And yeah, I just saw like a bunch of crazy ass tricks, and I kind of just stuck with that. But then I lost interest again. Then I think officially I can say I got really into it was like when I was like around 14 or 13, where I got a skateboard off of my friend. I borrowed his skateboard for 6 months, and the guy was like, dude, man, if you buy me like 2 slices of pizza, and it was like dirt cheap, like you can have the skateboard. And I was like, woohoo, deal! Got this fucking skateboard. It was out of date at that time, like no concave, and the wheels were like, I think it was like this small. Like it just takes like a little piece of dust, to get a hang up, But anyway, I stuck with that, and then collected. In Denmark, you get like some coins for collecting bottles. So I collected enough bottles to buy my first professional skateboard. It was a Julian Stranger Anti-Hero. Yeah, that was probably in 1994, I think. Yeah, 1994. So like, yeah, I was with a shitty skateboard for a long time, and then I got a proper skateboard from collecting like maybe four months worth of bottles or something like that. Yeah.
This is really awesome.
Oh, well, I can answer your question kind of, but I mean, skateboarding and art, it has so much in common for me. Like my attitude towards life is certainly based on skateboarding. My motivation, the fact that I still skate today, the fact that I still do art today, it's not mutually exclusive as far as the kind of motivational like sort of background of both of these things. Like I never gave up on art just because skateboarding is so fucking difficult. Like if you don't do it like already in a month, you start to become already really rusty. And you know, like let's say you go through some injury, like you have to rework things again. And also when you get older, it gets like a little bit different. You got to train, and you know, like kind of meaning of skateboarding might change a little bit. But I fucking love it. I'm grateful for it. The fact that the cliche of like you falling down and bailing off of tricks until you stick to it like a stubborn mule is such an important life lesson. And if I didn't have that attitude from skateboarding, I certainly wouldn't have made a career out of art, because like I think in the beginning there were a lot more challenges than opportunities, you know, like when I first started. But I stuck with it, you know, like no matter what, like I just kept on going, and the more that I put out, like the more work I got, and I started working like, you know, within like certain industries and film and stuff like this, like doing storyboard and whatever, kind of like, you know, paying my dues, let's say. And then eventually right now where I can actually choose the jobs that come by. So yeah, I never gave up, and it's all because of skateboarding for sure. Yeah, to think about it, I think it's like probably the most important thing in my life. I have definitely some imposter complex where I generally hate my stuff after a week, and it's just like about trying to do a better one as soon as possible after that. Like I kind of get hard on myself. I look at like the technical mistakes that I made, and then I try to do another one to make amends for it. You get that in skateboarding too. Like you might take like 20 goes to do a trick, and then you finally land it, and you're just not happy with it. Like you landed with 1 foot off, or you know, maybe you tapped your hand on the ground. Although I think that's cool. I think that always looks rad. I don't know why people would want to do those tricks over again. But like, you know, like so that. Once you get into the rhythm of something, you want to try and do the best version of that. So like that's kind of maybe a relatable thing, you know. You just, yeah. So I get that with you do the best that you can at that given moment. But then like post, when you look at photos, it's like a little mistake there. That could have been more sharp. The guy could have been more like instead of more like I don't know, like whatever, like yeah. I would bloody well hope so, because like sometimes it feels a little bit painful at times. It's one of those like hate-love things, but I suppose like it's challenging. Skateboarding's challenging. Like this is challenging. So what the fuck is the point of anything? Like if it doesn't like push you to progress and do better. Like progression is like everything. Like that's the only reason why I skateboard and do art. Like you just want to be better. I mean, I have friends like, you know, like who, you know, paint graffiti for fun, and they're like they're looking at me paint. It's like, man, stop being so serious, you know. And I'm like, I'm having a good time. Why are you saying that? You know, like, so I'm just focusing. Like, I just don't want to fuck it up. You know, like I want to get it right. You know, small details. You know, like, but yeah. I would hope this kind of like attitude makes it better, but I think sometimes you gotta hang loose a little bit as well. You know, you gotta say like, you gotta put like your creative twist in it. You know, sometimes you have to also accept like just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do it as well. So I think it's like it's a balance. You know, I think if you try to be too perfect, you can look a bit. It can be like a little bit robotic. I mean, some people, you know, like in skateboarding too, you have like those two camps. You know, like some people don't like Rodney Mullen or Nigel Houston because they're so like on point. You know, but then they like guys like what's his name, Evan Smith, right? Because like he's because he's like sketchy, you know, like but in the best fucking way, and that loose like kind of style is like beautiful too. It's like style, you know. So it's like a bit of it's technical, but then it's like it's also like it hits the right notes as well, you know. So like I think maybe I don't know. It's a balance between the two, like, you know, like just hitting the right notes, but you need to have like style with that too. Yeah, so style, man. Ultimately it's just the way that you. I guess it's like the way that you spontaneously. You spontaneously do something. It's like something that can't ever be faked, you know, because it happens at that given moment, and you let it pass, you know. So yeah, within skateboarding, obviously you have like nanoseconds to like within a trick, you know, and yeah, fuck it if your foot flies off in a certain way and you catch it in a particular way that can never be duplicated again, then like fuck it, keep it, you know, like maybe with art it's the same way. We're like doing like kind of like eloquent lines and strokes and stuff like that, like maybe you're drawing a person and maybe it's like a forced perspective, but you drew too forced, like where the perspective is like maybe it's like someone walking, you know, and the foot is like really coming at you, you know, and you totally exaggerate it with a small little body on top. It's fucking stylish, like, and it's also in a way it's technical as well. In a way, like when you do these stylish things, it actually makes you understand what you're looking at, like in art or the trick that you're doing. You start to like you understand it like a little bit more, like internally, you know. It's so surreal. Like we put up with so much fucking shit skating back in the day. So like when I had originally come here in like 1996, and skateboarding was on the verge of dying. Like there was like, I think it started with like maybe 13 people, then it eventually just became like 7 of us on the whole island. And we were constantly treated like rats, you know, like second-class citizens. And I guess if, you know, as the saying goes, you treat someone like a second-class citizen, you're most likely going to be acting like one at one point. We used to get blamed for this and that, like, you know, we used to have like CID, which is like the secret police in Malta, like actually keep tabs on us, like sometimes. No, it was completely insane. Like I think one of the worst stories, like there was like a knife-wielding guy in next to Slima, like very close to Thomas Cook, it used to be called. I don't know, I think there's a Starbucks right there right now. But yeah, that place, man, like person used to throw like a bucket of piss out the window after us. There's a story with a couple of friends of mine, like where they got chased with a knife, and this psychopath is like running around a bench, and one guy's like shielding, like with a fucking board, being stabbed with a board. I mean, it's fun to talk about this, but like if I go back in time, like it was not fun. Like it was just like, why the fuck are we being treated like this? But spots were becoming less and less. Like, you know, there were like places where it was like really fun to skate. Like there was, Tenière used to be a complete ghetto, and there used to be like all these like derelict sort of like broken homes and stuff like this, and you could make like makeshift like ramps and gaps and stuff like that. Pretty exciting. And if you like had a sense of DIY, you know, you could bring a little portable rail and, you know, add it to something, or you know, like I think at one point, like, this is really bad. My friends, like, they stole like a handicap ramp and they put it up against the wall somewhere, like, yeah. But yeah, like, so it was really fucking. We were a little bit of scumbags, I think. But like, you know, like we didn't have to be this way. You know, like if the authorities like if they gave a shit about young people, then, because like you got to nurture young people to do it. Like, and skateboarding has been nothing but a positive thing in my life. You know, like I mean, I think my words and like the way that I am like testify to this, you know. But at one point, like everything was gone. Like Slima Front, we couldn't skate there anymore because like they rebuilt it in a way where like you just couldn't skate it, and it was annoying to begin with cops all the time, like everywhere. Tenière was gone. Everywhere was gone, and the only place that we found was the Msida subway, which was nothing. It was just a place to get from one end to the other, but there was like nothing inside it, just gaps. And it happened to be a perfect skate spot. So like from, I guess you can correct it somewhere on here or there or whatever. Like I think it was built in 99, I think 99. And we already started going there, and eventually it was the only place that we went to. We eventually got like handrails and, you know, like and all this stuff, but then like that place was under threat as well. It was literally like our only skate spot that we had left. And then we got harassed by some government cleaners at that time. Some kid and the father like made a handrail, from what I understood, and the cleaners were throwing it out, like they were just like gonna like in the skip. And the kids were like, no, like, this is not trash, you know, like, which is weird to explain to someone, you know, like it clearly isn't trash, you know. And then the guy was like, listen, I got orders from the government to take anything skate related, you know, and they were like, why, or whatever. And the guy tried to have a fight with the kids there. They couldn't. I think the oldest, I mean, they couldn't have been more than 16 or something like that. Like, they were teenagers. And they're getting the bit of the shit that we used to get from people. And he was like trying to ram it into people, like this handrail. So then we had to form an association. We had to fucking make that place, our last spot, a skate park. So, you know, we, a group of friends of ours, we made it our duty for 2.5 years to make sure on paper that this place becomes a skate park. Yeah, so that was incredibly important. And I think everything changed, like as far as like attitude towards young people in Malta, from that skate park. Yeah, you can say there might be like some people can say what they want, like, you know, about the place or whatever, but you cannot deny that like there's a concentration of positivity that goes there, that people are using their bodies, and they're you know, like they're using they're growing like physically and mentally from like challenging things that are challenging, that are physically and mentally stimulating to them. And then graffiti came in there too, became like a legal spot, and it's just a creative place. And I think a lot of places in Malta actually look to the Msida skate park as like the ground zero for us, you know, like who didn't like football, who weren't into team sports, like who want to do something different, because they try to use this argument like all the time, you know, like why don't you play like basketball or this? And it's like because some people are not into that. It's quite simple like that, like, and it was an uphill battle at first, but then eventually we had everyone on our side, which some people were always on our side, you know, like the important people. I think most people were on our side, but the guys in power, like the guys, they weren't. So ironically, we had to go through them first. That worked out fine. Oh, that's a really tough one. I think my first favorite skateboarder was Steve Caballero. He was the first guy that I saw that like was like skating everything. And I don't know what it was about him. He was this like short guy, you know, he's got this like gnarly neck, you know, he had like an accident or something when he was young, and it's like he just like seemed like
a construction worker.
Yeah, but he was like, yeah, exactly. But just really freaking stylish, and I know he's a nice guy for a fact because like I wrote him a letter back in the day, and he actually wrote back to me like which is insane, like, yeah. So he's genuinely a nice guy too. But other than that, like as far as like stylish guys or whatever, growing up was like Rudy Johnson. I loved his part in Video Days. Guy Mariano for sure. Ethan Fowler, I really like that guy. Jason Lee, big time. Actually, I used to like that guy so much that I tried to grow mutton chops, like but I looked like such ass. So I couldn't do that. I get jealous actually to this day if I see a person with like mutton chops. I'm like, yeah, well, it's something. It gets worse with age. Like, I mean, like when you're younger, like, I'm not so sure about this, but I think it's like at least like 25 years and younger. Your bones have not like set in as yet, and after 25, I think like your bones like slowly start to degenerate. So, you know, before those years, you can break yourself, and you know you get up again, you know. But you know, after that, you know, you really get tested, you know, like on what skateboarding means to you. Like, are you going to go the extra steps to like, you know, do like to do exercise, you know, like and make it a thing. So like when you get injured, it's not like you're 3 months out, you know. That, you know, 2 days after you can get back on it, you know. It depends on like the severity of whatever injury you have, but like, you know, and for me it's like it's worth it. Like I want to like take care of myself like the best way that I can, like eat right and all this stuff, and that's what injuries they're kind of there to like to humble you. Man, God, that's a really good question. Oh man, I think this is a very simple one, like because I just have like such a good memory over it. Like I remember getting my kick flips like really solid, and eventually like I was doing it off like 2 staircases, 3 staircases, 4 staircases. Like there was this neighborhood in Copenhagen where it was like next to a library, and there was like a cool spot, like with like lots of things like around like street skating. And I think one of my proudest moments, like it's very simple, but it's like doing a kickflip over a small little like planter curve. Like the planter was like only like this, and maybe like only that high, but then there was like a small little bank, and I kickflipped into it, and I think that was like the best feeling, and I still feel it today. And it's not a big deal. I mean, like you could ask like any other skater at the subway, and they will do it on command, you know, maybe 3rd try most, you know. But like that was just like a first feeling that I had that I always remember. Yeah, it's usually flip tricks that I remember a lot, like first times with flip trips. 360 flip on a pyramid was first time on a pyramid. That was probably one of my favorite, like you know, like when like front side like 360 flip and you land like there, so it's like a 270 flip-ish thing. Yeah, and I landed with like my feet like this, and for whatever reason it felt good, because like the you know, the butterflies go into your stomach, you like go up your throat, and it's like, oh shit, oh that felt good. Sketchy as fuck, but it still felt good, you know. So that is the same reasoning for art, like what I told you. But then I'll add on top of it, it's just being a stubborn jackass. Like I think for like about 17 years, I've been fucking trying to get a backside tail slide, and I haven't got it yet, and it's still annoying me to this day. I'm gonna get there for sure. I'm gonna like it's gonna come out, and I'm gonna go down on the ground, and I'm gonna start crying. There is like, skateboarding is so fucking wonderfully annoying sometimes, you know. It's like, oh fuck, why don't I have it? And you still have this like kind of childish thing going, like, if I can do this trick, I'm gonna feel cooler about myself. And I don't feel about that in anything in my life, but skateboarding I do. It's like, I will feel cooler if I can do that fucking trick. Fucking backside tail slide, motherfucker. This is really difficult to explain, because I almost feel like it's
like an up and down thing for you?
Yeah, well, it happens too, because it's like, you know, you could be doing like that thing that you've always wanted to do, but a job is a job. It's always going to be a job. But, you know, but then again, like when I'm doing my own stuff, I'm not a worker anymore. Like, you know, then I'm an artist. But I guess what keeps me going is that I don't want to waste my life. If I have like a good idea and I'm like procrastinating over it, which is like the most horrible feeling on earth, like I start to get this existential dread, like thinking like I should have this done, you know. I want to look back in my life and say like I did all that I could, the best that I could, you know. So I guess that keeps me going. It's like a bit of like existential sort of reasoning. But also it's the pursuit of progression, because it's always mentally stimulating, and yeah, you need to. It's just important to have that in your life, and yeah, you have like an outcome of something that was like difficult, and you stuck through it, you know. So. Yeah, I think those are the main reasons, like the pursuit of progression, and just not having any regrets in your life, like that you didn't, you know, like you didn't do because of this or that reason, because of fear or like a fear of failure, or a fear of even success, really too. It can be the same coin, but. Yeah, it's that, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, you know, like it's a good feeling, you know, like when once you get that done and you want more, you know, like it's a pursuit, it's a pursuit. It's never ending, you know. I think the kind of journey of the journey of doing at least good figurative art where it's like meant to look like something, like where there's definitely like a right and wrong. I think there's a connection with that. You start off skating, you suck, you're very shy at the skate park, you know, like you probably remember that. It could be like a bit of a strenuous process, like, and once you get to a certain point, like you learn to pop an ollie, you're like, wow, okay, now I need to learn the next thing, frontside 180, then eventually you learn a kickflip, which I think is like the main thing that most people get like really stoked about. Like, you remember your first kickflip always, and I think maybe in art you get the same thing. Like, you know, you start to learn like a little bit about how to look at a model, for example. If you're doing a life drawing, you start to get things like anatomically correct, and you start to do it faster. And I think it's like the same kind of struggles, because like, yeah, you obviously suck when you first start. Like if you wanted something to look like something, you know, and yeah, no, that's I think it's like the same kind of like maybe perhaps like the same frustrations or whatever, but like it really depends on the person if they stick to skateboarding or art afterwards. Like, many people give up on these things because like it's, as mentioned, it's difficult as shit. So yeah, I think it takes a special kind of person to do like a certain kind of art, and skateboarding especially, like people who have a longevity to it, you know.
So you